You talk about a star in the practice pen. And there's why. I mean, I watched this horse in the first go-around and said, Kaci can win this thing. She came into the composite about 10th or 11th.
Oh, they're still feeling it.
Oh.
There's another, I talked about this last night. Even if you don't know anything about reining and you just happen to be sitting in this building when something like that happens, you know it because the audience knows it and they tell you.
Well, we've seen a crew of great stoppers tonight. That may have been the best run-in stop we've seen tonight, so.
Based on the audience, it 100% was.
All right, she's just clicking them off, but I'll show you my judge's card. I'm at 72 after 2 maneuvers. I felt like it was a very good stop and back up, bordering on excellent. And same thing with that set of right turnarounds. Boy, Kaci's timing just incredible there. From the Northeast, her dad's a horse trainer, buyer, seller of horses. She apprenticed with Casey Deary, put in her time there. She and her husband, Jack Daniels, have started their own business a few years back, and boy, they've done nothing but succeed. Talked to Peter and Courtney Morgan about how happy they are with the job Kaci and Jack have done for them, how happy they are to support them, and it's been really a great relationship both ways because Kaci is getting it done on this horse. And the crowd, if you can hear it at home, really starting to get behind this. I believe Kaci is the only woman competitor in tonight's field. That's rare, but she's more than happy to carry the distaff banner. All right, don't hurt yourself in the circles. And she doesn't. This horse really feely and sensitive, but wants no trouble. After I saw him run the first go-round, I just saw Kaci out. I said, wow, tell me about the Fireman. I just get through these circles, stay out of the penalty box. And Cole Price might be puckering up a little bit right now because if he's clean through here, we're playing to his strength now. You know, he's got 3 shots here to do what he absolutely probably does better than any horse in the finals or as good, and that's saying something. And it's a bunch of stoppers, but check him out. Wow. Unbelievable. Not only is that horse physical, but you saw him get so deep there. A lot of horses will lose balance and pop a wheelie a little bit. He just dug with that front end and maintained that perfect top line position in his stop. It goes so far. A little loose on the rollback there. I'm not going to speculate, but I am so anxious to see if she nails this last one. She nailed it. So happy.
Kaci O'Rourke.
What a ride.
And the Fireman, ladies and gentlemen. You feel free to get up and get out of your seats here tonight because that's the one and only lady in the house. And look at the love she's showing for the ride, the Fireman. She is setting this place on fire, and for good reason. The score, a 229.
Here we go. Episode 83, Kaci O'Rourke, Open Futurity Champion.
Ooh, doggy, that sounds good, don't it?
Yes, sir.
My turn?
Yep, go for it.
All right. Welcome back to the show. As always, we got Gunny Matheson, Joe Schmidt, and our special guest tonight, 2024 NRHA Futurity Champion, Kaci O'Rourke.
Yeah,
It sounds weird.
Sounds weird. Why? So surreal still?
It does sound surreal still.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very surreal.
That's cool. So you got questions loaded? Because I got some.
Fire.
I actually spent a couple days on the phone calling a few women that came before you, like Barbara Williams
and she was the first one that I thought of that made the finals. And Donnie said a Mavis Garber Wilkinson might have made the finals before her, but when I was talking to Barbara, she said she really didn't have to deal with any chauvinistic type stuff. I didn't know if that happened to you in your career this far.
You know, I haven't actually felt like a disproportionate amount of that from like men or women. I've had men and women maybe say some discouraging things, but I think a lot of people have.
You should try hanging out with him and being me. I mean,
Dream crusher. But, you know, no, like I've had people say things before, but I've also had a lot of like men and women and a lot of men that have been extremely supportive and encouraging to me. And some of my best mentors were men for sure. I mean, I've had, you know, people say, especially early on, you know, that I should probably maybe think about doing something else or be a non-pro or something like that I could do better that way. And again, I just think you just have to like, those are other people's limitations or fears or whatever, and that doesn't have to have anything to do with you.
I don't know if that has anything to do with being a woman, but
No,
it's a hard profession.
Yeah.
So I think most people try to, you know, warn people that it's going to be a long, tough road.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, I've had a lot of people be extremely supportive and helpful along the way. And so I think our industry is just great for that.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to that, I mean, I've told more men that work for me than women, hey, I don't think this is for you.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and nobody wants to hear that, but you had a good start with good people and showed that you could do this a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I feel like anybody that told you that was not paying attention right from the start.
Well, I think any person kind of along any journey, you're always going to come across those things. And I think having a strong enough will to just kind of like push forward is the test of becoming good at anything, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman or anything like that. But like I said, I do think in our industry, one of the nicest things is the amount of people that have been willing to help me, and the amount of men and women that have been very encouraging or have not treated me any differently, you know, for that reason.
And at the end of the day, the horses don't know the difference.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're going to go do the job you teach them to do.
Yeah. And the only reason that I brought it up is because, I mean, if they don't know, you're the first woman to ever win the Futurity.
Yeah.
And, but I saw some statistics on Facebook that said most of the non-pro finalists were women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it's an anomaly to be a man and be a non-pro. And just the flip side, you were the only woman in the finals this year.
Yeah.
And you just so happen to take the trophy home. I just thought it's interesting.
Why do you think that is? I mean, why do you think that there is? So I thought about that. I saw that same post, trying to figure out why the number is so disproportionate. Like in the non-pro, the top 10, 8 or 9 of them were women.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but do you think it has to do with like the business more so than the riding itself? I mean, I think obviously women are, you know, very good in business all over in all kinds of professions, but I mean, it is a physically taxing, demanding profession. I mean, I'm lucky because I have, you know, my husband, and I make him do all the heavy lifting and things. But, you know, I mean, you know, dealing with customers, dealing with the stress of having a business, dealing with, you know, not being, you know, home or not having, you know, like we're at the barn 7 days a week. Not that really has a difference being a man or a woman, but I mean, I think it's just kind of
Well, clearly women do it a lot because most of the non-pros were women, you know. There's a lot of women that do it. So I don't know if it's a physical ability. Clearly not.
Yeah.
You beat all the boys.
Well, I think for the longest time we've thought that was the case.
Yeah.
And because it is physically demanding.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, because you're a bit of an anomaly in that sense,
Yeah.
because not only are you a woman, there's some other women in the past that have done this and done it well that I wouldn't want to get in a fist fight with.
Absolutely.
And you're.
I probably wouldn't win in a fist fight.
I'm not talking about anybody's weight here, but you're soaking wet. You're still, you know. I'm not saying anything more.
Digging yourself a hole.
Yes,
There we go.
You're
There we go.
petite. Yes.
I wouldn't win in a fist fight. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Petite, we speak of French.
Yeah, man, I had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
I
you
was
got
just gonna-
stuck. Got stuck.
I think it's a sensitive subject no matter what. Like if you start talking about this, I think you can say, I mean, especially in 2024, you can say the wrong thing real quick. Talking about why women don't do it for a living and why men do, and why women are non-pros more or more better at non-pros because they were all in the finals and less men were. I don't know.
At the end of the day, it's hard to do at the top level. And maybe there's less women that do it at the top level because it's so disproportionate of how many women start with that as their goal.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
There's thousands of young guys that have looked at that as their goal over the last 5 or 10 years, and maybe 50 women that have thought, and maybe you can be part of that, breaking that barrier and
absolutely.
getting people more to think in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, I've just always been a believer. I think the only limitations that really matter are those that you put on yourself. So, I mean, if you don't believe in yourself and you don't think you can do it, then, you've already cut yourself short right there. And, whether that has to do with men or women or being able to see somebody go before you in that spot so you can envision yourself there, I don't know. I mean, like Gunny said, there have been some, great women in our industry and in the Western industry as a whole that, I mean, like, I aspire to be like. I mean, Sarah Dawson and the Cow Horse is like my idol. So
She's amazing.
She's pretty
unbelievable.
cool. So,
Well, and in the reining, I remember when Kelly Zwiefel came over here and won the Derby.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody making a big deal that a woman from Europe came over and her horse came over from Europe and won the Derby, but nobody made a big deal about it being a woman winning the Derby.
Yeah, and she won like all the divisions.
She
right?
won everything. Yeah, it was incredible. And it just seemed,
Natural.
more fitting this year to bring up the fact that you're a woman, and last year at the Jim Nork Arena.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it got brought up more this year. But interesting anyway.
Well, and like with the jumping and stuff, there's big time women in the jumping.
Yeah.
Tons of women,
You know,
Women have won the NCHA fraternity. They've won the NRCHA fraternity. You're just the first woman to win the NRHA fraternity.
Yeah, and I think that's going to give confidence to other women.
Yeah.
That are, because I think you can. I think you can get it in your head that this is what I'm doing, but it's never been done before.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm going to go. I'm going to show up and I'm going to show the best, but that's my dream. But it's never been done before. Well, now it's been done before.
Right.
So now I think it opens that door to other people. But at the end of the day, woman or man makes no difference. You can friggin' train one to go mark a 229.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, we talk about man or woman, but you're a horse trainer.
Yep, 100%. Like you said, the horses don't know the difference.
Yeah.
And I have an interesting question for you, and I don't know if you'd know the answer, but did you think it would ever happen?
Honestly, I mean, I hoped. Like, I really hoped. I mean, I think a lot of people dream about it.
For sure.
But I didn't, expect it to happen.
Well, you seem like a humble person.
Yeah.
That's why I expected that answer.
Yeah, I mean, you hope and you dream about it, but you don't ever really, people...
I mean, Jack, on the other hand, he knew he was going to win it. So still does.
But
Sorry, Mike.
I didn't know. I knew she was going to win it. I'll never win it.
But there were some women that came close. One that was you were very close to.
Yeah.
Abby Lingle was third last year, the year before.
Marcy Vermeer was
Marcy
second.
Vermeer was second with
Yeah.
Gunner Special Night behind Wimpy's Little Chick. I mean, they marked 230s and 231s. It was very close.
Yeah.
And then when you were done, did you know it was going to be that high?
I honestly, like, it was the craziest run I've ever had because none of it felt real. It was the weirdest thing. Like, the whole run just kind of, like, flowed through, and then when it was over, I knew it was good, and I, like, got off and stuff, and I was walking, and I just, like, saw everybody standing up, and I was kind of like, I literally felt like, I was like, this is definitely a dream, and I'm going to wake up. Like, this is not real right now. And then they said the score, and I just like, couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew it was good, but to actually, like, you know, you have that feeling, you know, it happens and you're short, or you're, you know, I was, like, ready to hear, you know, 226 or 220, whatever, and, you know, be very happy with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, when they said a 229, I was just like, you know, holy crap, is this even happening right now? And it was just a crazy, none of it felt real. Still doesn't.
I told everybody that asked me early in the week, they asked me, who do you think's going to win? And I said there was 4 horses in my mind that I thought would win. And the 4 were Mirko Medilli's yellow horse, Cade on his buckskin horse, Cole Price on his gray horse, and Kaci O'Rourke on her Inferno. To me, and there was a 5th one.
And I heard you say that. You said it to me, actually.
I said it to multiple people, and to me, your horse stood out because he is unbelievably attractive, and he is unbelievable running and stopping. I mean, he is next level running and stopping. I'm sure when you ran in and stopped and backed up like you did, you sat there for a minute and went, whoo.
Yeah.
I just did that. Huh? Did y'all see that? Because I would have been sitting there before I turned going, damn, that felt good. How am I going to count these turns now, you know?
It felt like, if I was thinking, I was like, did we really slide that far? Because, like, it felt like a really long ways. And luckily, he backs up really, really good. And everybody was so loud. I was like, I think that was really, really good. But, like, I was, you know, it was so loud. I was just hoping he was just going to, like, sit there and relax to start the turns. But, you know, to your point, and I really appreciate that, you even including me in that list, because you were very, you know, you were awesome to be of help throughout the week to me and stuff. But, you know, people did say after the first go, a couple people came up to me and they're like, you know, you have enough horse to win it. And I couldn't, for my own self, like, I couldn't let myself have that expectation, if that makes sense. Like, I just, like you even told me, you said, you know, just keep your head down, focus on your horse, do what you know you need to do. Don't let all the noise kind of get to you. And that's really what I tried to do. Because if I let myself, you know, and I told my dad this the other day, I said, you know, if I would have known what was, like, what could happen or what was, like, at stake, you know, if someone would have told me you can have, like, this can happen, really, I think it would have
Screwed you up.
Yeah. I really just tried to, like, focus on him and what I needed to do and try to
And
do
I
just
told
the
her
best
I
we
was
could.
qualified to tell her that because I have made all the mistakes. I've done it all wrong before. I know how to do it wrong. Don't do it this way because it's wrong. So just do your job.
Yeah, just show your horse.
Yeah.
And it's not just, the thing is, at the end of the day, it's not just about what you do. There's still 5 people in that arena
Yeah.
that have to let it happen
Yeah, 100%.
if it happens.
Yeah.
And that would have been my concern.
Yeah.
And I thought those judges did a very good job of getting the top 5 or 6 horses. The rest I don't really know because I wouldn't watch it that close. But I saw all the top 5 or 6 horses, and I thought they got them all in the right order. And it started off where I felt pretty comfortable watching that finals thinking, okay, these guys are on point,
Yeah.
is when Mirko ran.
Yeah.
Because he had so much momentum
Yeah, he did.
going into that finals, and
Yeah.
we've seen it over and over and over again through the years. We've seen where somebody carries a little momentum into that
Yeah.
finals, and they have that 224 run,
Yeah.
and mark at 229 or
Yeah.
230. We've seen it.
Yeah.
And when he was done, I was like, okay, now what are they going to do with this?
He left the door open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
big
said
time.
224, and I was like, okay. I mean, that's within the realm of what it was.
Yeah.
And but you knew that wasn't going to win.
Right.
I mean, you just went, oh.
No, as soon as he showed and marked that, then like I said, it was open, wide open.
Yeah.
You know, anybody could have done it after that.
And that was a set. That second set.
Because Cade came in next, or
Yeah.
Deary
Deary,
came in next
yeah.
and had an unbelievable run. And his horse is so much horse.
Yeah.
He turned so fast and he ran so fast to his stops. You know, his horse isn't as balanced stopping as yours, so that's maybe where you'd flaw him. He could get a little bracy up front, but his run was clean.
I didn't love his horse in the go-rounds.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, just
He does what
it's
he
Cade.
does. He's
Yeah,
good.
you know?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
good at putting his hand
Very
down
good.
and showing.
Yep.
And then Cade comes
And getting
in
him
right
ready.
after him
Yeah.
and is very good also, but a little dirty in a few spots, maybe circling.
Yeah,
Maybe
through
a little
the middle.
maybe a little out of horse, like didn't have the speed running to a stop. So he was close, but not that next, set. And then
No, I was over in barn 6 when those guys were getting ready. It was Cole, Mirko, Cade. And I mean, you could cut the tension with a knife
yeah.
over there. And there were so many people.
Yeah.
But it was just like every horse there, it was just like, holy crap, just specimens.
Yeah.
There were some really strong horses. Like that top bunch of horses were really, really good horses.
Yeah.
I thought my horse was one of the top horses there, and I only made the level 3 finals. I told Tom all year how much I love that thing. And he looked like a high school kid amongst college players. He looked like a freshman amongst seniors.
Yeah.
But it happens. It doesn't necessarily define them.
No, I agree. But
And
there were some special horses this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
without a doubt. And it's like the mare. It's like the mare I showed. Those 2 runs I had, any other fraternity I've ever been to would have been in the finals. I mean, she ended up 38th place, and it was correct. Had no problem with her not making the finals. But this was the deepest, toughest fraternity. And now you can add 30 more, probably 20 to 30 more gunslingers that are 30 years old or younger, coming from Europe and Brazil and are 35 years old and younger. I don't know how old all of them are, but they're showing up and they're trying to be the winner. Yep. I mean, they're trying to be the winner every day, and they're getting on the right kind of livestock. I mean, the horses that some of those guys are getting access to, they're phenomenal. I mean, they're just phenomenal. So I think that was the deepest fraternity. I think what was interesting about that fraternity is how many guys were in the finals that have never been in the finals before. I mean, it was just...
They showed good when they were in the finals.
Showed good in the finals. I mean, they handled the moment. And not like for even Mirko's horse, like he had all the eyes on him, and he went in and showed good. His horse looked just a little flat, but...
Well, he had turn penalties too both ways.
Yeah,
right?
he had turn penalties both ways, and that's at the end of 2 weeks of that horse was hard, and there was a lot of horses hacking and coughing and sick.
That's not the last we're going to see of Mirko's horse. That's not the last we're going to see of Cole's horse, Cade's horse.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, them horses are going to...
That group is...
Them horses are the reason that I sold mine. Well, why am I going to compete as a 4-year-old against these things? I mean, these things are unbelievable. They're all, to me, those horses were generational talented animals, and they all are in the same year.
Yeah.
No, Mirko's horse, and like I said, it was Cade's, Mirko's, and Cole's over there in barn 6. Every stop was just like, holy crap, like so awesome.
Yeah, but in the actual show pen, first and second place outstopped everybody. There was, to me, there was a clear-cut winner of the stopping contest. Kaci O'Rourke was the winner. Cole Price was second. Both of those horses were phenomenal running and stopping.
Agreed.
So
And in a 4-stop pattern.
that's why the trophy's shaped like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your stop running in and your last stop
Yeah.
were amazing.
Yeah, your last stop was
so sweet.
He's incredibly, I mean, he's like nothing I've really felt stopping because he's so smooth and he's so good up front. I mean, he's great that way. But I think one thing Cole and I actually rode together several nights, but definitely the night before. And I tried to sit and watch the 2 sets before us ride, and there was a lot of the ground would get a little bit chewed up after, several people would stop on it, and actually it was funny because we rode at 11, and there happened to be quite a few people that went in the arena at 11, and Cole and I were the 2 that went over to barn 6, and we circled over in barn 6, and his horse looked great. And I know that I didn't want to cause any problems. I didn't want to get him worked up. I didn't want to get him lose his confidence. And so I stopped mine a little bit in barn 6, and then I just went over and I got it, walked around in the chute, just kind of loped around in the chute. And I sat next to Cole and I looked at him and I said, the ground looks a little chewed up and stuff. And he told me, he's like, I just go ahead and work on your run and stop long. He's like, that's what I'm going to do. I watched him. That's exactly what he did. Stopped long a couple times. The horse stopped great. So I went and stopped long a couple times. My horse stopped really good. I ran in once, and he was great. I pulled him in the ground short one time, and then that was it. Just tried not to make a mess, the night before.
Has he always backed up like that?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, that's actually another thing that kind of helped me throughout the week before the first go. I was walking in the warm-up pen, and Trevor was in there, and I was just talking to him. Well, we were in barn 6, and I was telling him, this horse is he's just so intense. He has so much of everything. And he said, I've had, he mentioned a couple horses that were like that. And he said, I learned just to ask him for 50%. And he said, if I ask him for 50%, they always gave me 100. And if I asked him for 100, then they overtried a little bit. And so when I went my first go, I just asked him a little bit for everything. And he gave me a lot. And so in the finals, I told myself, same thing. I said, don't over ask him for anything. Just ask him for a little bit. And that's what I did. And it worked, I guess.
It was absolutely, you definitely did not overshow your horse.
It was
you
perfect.
showed your horse absolutely picture perfect. Yeah. You circled a half. You didn't try to circle a +2. Yep. And like me or Joe usually do. And you run and drug your butt. I do have a story about the second go because you were hanging out at their stalls, and a few of my friends were mad at me for bringing it up because usually you don't bring up stuff that quote unquote might jinx somebody. And I saw Kaci show this horse at Tulsa, and it didn't go as expected. She's still figuring him out, and he did not. We had a fast lead change, and she drug a lead from right to left for quite a while. And then you didn't make a big deal out of it. It's Tulsa. You just schooled him and kept showing and finished, and it was over. So in my head, I remembered that. And after the first go, you were hanging out there. I said, how's your right to left lead change? Oh, it's good. It's fine. No big deal. She didn't think anything of it. But as soon as she left, Kate is smacking me, dude. Why did you ask her that, dude? Now she's going to be overthinking it. And then she goes and shows in the second go. And you were a smidge late changing from right to left, you were scared to ask him. Yeah. And all of my friends gave me the stink eye. They blamed it on me for jinxing her. And I didn't feel like I jinxed you, but I was just trying to be helpful.
I actually felt like I was tell me what I'm going to do wrong in the finals, please, so I can go fix it before
I was just trying to remember the one flaw that he had. Whenever I saw him in Tulsa, he didn't change that lead for some reason. And I know he has enough feel, and I know he's broke enough.
I literally, I was trying to be so light in that second go when I asked him. And I had done my lead changes. I'd practiced them Friday night, Saturday night, and they were perfect through the middle. But my horse before that I showed had leaned on that right circle.
Little gate leaning.
And I was so paranoid about that I was, steering him on that right circle constantly. I was don't think about it. Don't go over there. And he wasn't trying to be bad at all. But when I just kind of guided him a little bit, he was just oh, you mean you want me to wait? I'm going to stay over here. And then thankfully, when I said, oh, crap, we didn't change, he changed right then, thankfully. Yeah. But I think everybody about fainted. I didn't feel that bad about it because I was okay, we'll run and stop 3 times and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But
you were still
I wasn't mad at you.
You were still a 218. With a little penalty. I don't remember if it would have been a half or a 1. And
they all got me for a 1.
They all got you for a 1 there. And so you would have been a 21 with the 1 point added back on. I'm sure they took your circle away, so you would have been. He's plenty of horse to make a mistake, and
that's what it takes anymore.
It takes that kind of horse. You got to be able to have a mistake. You're human. It's a living, breathing animal. So
you got to have one good enough to where you bobble and you're still okay.
Yeah.
So where'd you get that horse? How long have you had him?
So we actually picked him out at Tamarack. We went down there when he was a yearling, and we looked through the pasture at all the colts, and he had just gotten down from Oregon, so he was pretty hairy, and he was a really late baby, so he was little. And we're in the pasture, and I mean, Gabe liked him and stuff, but there were several really bloomed, pretty ones in the pasture. And I told Jack, I was like, I think when he like blooms up and gets, loses his hair and stuff, he'll look really, really good. And so we told Gabe and Susie that that's the one that we wanted, and they actually partnered on him with us. And well, actually, to be truthful, they told us if we don't sell him, we'll do that. And so I honestly didn't think we'd get a shot at him. I thought he would get sold, but thankfully he didn't. And they called us around like November sometime, and we went and picked him up. And so Jack started him, and he spent a lot of time with him. He was very reactive.
He was a real bronc, I bet, huh, Mike? Crikey. He was like an alligator.
No, he wasn't.
Crocodile. He was a crook. Come out of teeth a-blazing.
Yeah, they don't have alligators.
He wasn't like that tough, but he was so sensitive, and he took everything so seriously. Like, he wasn't a joke around kind of horse. And like, we saddled him in the round pen for a good 2-3 months, before he was like broke, and we'd saddle him in the cross ties like everything else kind of thing. He was so feely, and Jack would like trail ride him, and he just spent a long time on him and stuff. But he'd tell me, I'd watch him, and I'd kind of be like, how's that going for you? And he'd say, this horse is gonna be really good. He's gonna be good. And then in the summertime, he was so athletic, he'd get in his own way sometimes, turning and stopping in the very beginning. And he stopped him in like end of July once, and it looked like really good. And I was like, oh, that one's come along. He looks really good. And then about, September, you had too many to ride that day, and you said, here, you can just lope him around. He needs an easy day or something. Just lope him. And he was like, because he's so feely, but he's also he'll lope around like a little pleasure horse. Like, he's so fun. And I was just loping around, smiling, like, having fun. And I was like, I think I'll take this one now. And he was kind of unhappy about that, but.
And you never gave him back.
I never gave him back.
How do you guys decide who rides what?
Well, what's mine is mine, and what's his is also mine. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. Those are 100% the rules for every married couple.
Yeah.
It worked.
What you say goes, and what he says doesn't go. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's several, he gets along with a little better, and there's some that I get along with kind of better. I kind of know I like a really easy stopper, so that's why, that one's really good for me.
I think that's a great way to pick them. I'm really bad at stopping them.
Yeah.
You got to give me the ones that can do it for me.
That's exactly what I do.
You got to handicap me because I'm so bad at it. I just need help there, Jack.
He's so good at getting one to stop. So, like, if they're a little tricky to time in the rundown, he gets them because he does a better job at that than me. But this one was very easy, so that's why I get him. And he was little, so that's what.
So you're saying
Jack's
too
fat.
big, or what were you going with there?
Yeah, right. He did
Jack, they'll fat shame the shit out of people on this show.
Did you see Did you see the size of that piece of cake that he cut off a minute ago?
That's why
it looks like a loaf of bread.
That's why I said he could have it. You keep eating. We have a 2-year-old that's pretty little too. That's really nice. So I said, here, you just keep eating the cake.
Always an alternative.
But he's a good sport. He's got a really good one for next year that I'm not allowed to touch, so we're even.
Yeah, we'll see how that works. We'll see how that works out for you, Jack.
If he screws up at Tulsa, it's all yours.
I told him that.
That's
I told him.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Your worst owner is right there. That's pretty awesome. Well,
Yeah.
going back to a little bit changing the subject, the show that we had with Cole, you're going to remember the horses we talked about. We named about 4 horses.
Yeah, we named Trevor Dare on his white-faced horse because he just got being good at the Congress.
Yeah.
Miracles, Coles, and Cades.
Cades.
And Gabriel and Jordan's.
Diano, and Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those were the horses we named. And we also said, no matter how good they are in the pre-fraternities, it's hard to get all the way through that.
Gabriel Diano's yellow horse is amazing, and he slipped out of lead and trotted in a round. I can't remember if it was the first go round or this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he
Ended
did
up like
something.
212 or something.
Some little mistake, and it was probably a real pretty simple lead change, and it was probably a real innocent little mistake.
Yeah.
You know, and the horse is probably amazing, but
And I saw Jordan's horses in practice, and Jordan's horses looked good. They just didn't eat, for whatever reason, it just didn't.
he slid slowing down one way and fell out of lead. And
Yeah.
And sometimes,
yeah,
That was heartbreaking. That was terrible.
no, you got to be lucky too. I mean, you got to have. It's just got to be going your way.
sometimes you just take them off the trailer up there, and you just are in the groove, like a 3-point shooter. You just feel like you can't miss, and then sometimes you never get in that groove there.
I think like with us, it was frustrating. The pre-fraternity season was really frustrating because I knew that horse was good, and like we had high expectations going into the invitational, going into Tulsa, and in fact, like 3 horse shows, I took that horse in the pen, and I actually took him in first in a novice horse class in Waco in July.
Class that I won, I remember
Yeah.
you being last and me dominating
I
you.
was not last, and we were not in the same class. You were in the novice
I
horse
remember
too.
dominating you. You marked a 71, and I
No,
marked
I
a
was
72
a
and a half.
142 and a half.
Yeah, and I was a
with several-
145.
Anyway,
I was 145, and I
Anyway.
beat you on a horse that didn't belong in that horse's category, but it just made her worth more money.
I'll tell you. Well, anyway, so I took him in, and on the backup, he rolled back, and I remember
Mine
thinking,
did too.
I remember thinking of another really good horse that did that at the fraternity, and so I was on the phone with Peter Morgan after, and he said, Casey, thank God he did that. Now he looked fantastic. You were schooling him. He looked fantastic. I'm so glad he did that because now you're going to practice, and now he's not going to do it. So I had that in my mind the rest of the year. And then at Tulsa, that was tough because I knew he was plenty of horse to do good there. And for whatever reason, I did not prepare him right. Like I stuck ear balls in him, which I had not done at home. I did all these things to tick him off, and I didn't need to.
It just didn't work.
It just didn't work.
You were taking stabs at it. It just didn't work.
It just didn't work. And I came out, and Peter said to me again, he said, you know what? Now we know. Like, go to work on it. I know you and Jack are going to work on it. You're going to figure him out. And then I took him to that Waco show, the one in September, and I said, okay, I'm going to spend 4 days. I just took him and like 2 other horses, and I spent the whole weekend just figuring each other out. And I took him in that little pre-fraternity, and I took him in the pen probably like 6 times that week. And that's kind of what changed things for us a lot, because I figured out how I needed to get him ready. He got a lot of confidence in there. And then at Congress, he was super good in the first go, which kind of gave me a lot more confidence on him. And then in the finals, we just had a terrible week, that horse show. Our horse died. We had 4 horses in the level 4 finals. Each one of them, they were good, and something happened. And he just I came in the middle. He got a little flat on my 4th quarter of that right circle, and I knew it. And I just took that leg off, kind of a little abrasive, and he slid. But, if all of those things hadn't happened, like that all changed the way I got him ready, because I totally changed the way I slowed that horse down. I just had left both legs where they were and picked my hand up, and that's how I slowed down at the fraternity. And if those things hadn't happened, I don't think I would have prepared him the same way, and I don't know if it would have all followed through that way. But definitely, like when we got there, things just happened to work like clockwork. The whole 2 weeks went just... Every ride kind of went like it should have gone, and we had a plan for everything, and it was really strange, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and you stuck to your plan.
Yeah.
Like when you're telling me that Tulsa, you put the earplugs in and you did some things, and you were expecting you weren't trusting him.
Yeah,
you were expecting
exactly.
some things not to go right because
Yeah.
we've ridden so many other ones. The special ones are few and far between. You've ridden so many other ones that you start to overthink
Right.
it. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I
Yep.
need to do that. Maybe you're trying to keep ahead of him for things that aren't really
He
there.
hasn't even thought of yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get too defensive.
Yeah, and that's 100% what happened. And then, so after the Southwest, I just kind of, we had a plan of like what we were going to do and the 2 weeks leading up to it. And we just kind of, we got the 2 weeks right after Southwest, we kind of, really kind of got into him about some things and really just kind of like, put the pressure to him a little bit then. And then I went and had time to like just totally back off. I took my spurs off. Like the first day at the fraternity, I rode him around without spurs. I got him out the morning of the finals and I rode him around without spurs. And just like, I didn't use regular spurs on one time the whole show. I just used my clover leafs or no spurs at all. And that seemed to be the trick,
He's
I guess.
ticklish, Booga, eh? Huh? He's ticklish, huh?
He's the one who told me to do it, actually. And sometimes he has good ideas.
He eats too much cake, but he's got some good ideas.
He does.
Yeah, but also, I mean, what we do is difficult, and we've been doing it a long time, and we question everything that we're doing at horse shows. So it's nice to be able to bounce your ideas off
Yeah.
of somebody and say, and it gives you confidence that you are making the right decision sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
So
100 times, like I tell him, hey, should I do this? Should I use this bottle? What do you think about this? And most of the time he just tells me, like, repeats back what I just said to him and says, yeah, I think you're right. And okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I think I'm right too.
Yeah, and the thing is, it helps so much to have a horse like that, confidence-wise.
Yeah.
And you've shown a lot of horses that weren't like that,
Yeah.
just like the rest of us. And it's a different thing when you walk in there, when you're preparing, and you walk down in that chute, and if you have one bobble,
Yeah.
you're out. You don't have enough horse if
Yeah.
you have one bobble. It's not. It takes away your confidence a
Yeah.
little bit, makes you overthink, makes you guess a little bit. Whereas if you're riding one that you think, okay, if I have a turn penalty, whatever. If I drag a lead for a point, whatever. I can still come back from it.
Yeah.
And I think those judges there did a good job of
Yeah.
not killing somebody, not cutting their throat if they made
Yeah.
a mistake. They let them come back from some stuff. And I thought overall, it doesn't matter. There's 400 and some horses in that class. They're going to miss some, but overall, I thought they did a
really
pretty
good job.
darn good job.
Yeah.
well,
Of course,
it's one
of course, you
I
do.
think they did a good job.
Yeah,
too.
but
There's always one
it's
person.
also one of the first horse shows in a few years in Oklahoma City that we haven't heard people constantly bitching about the judging up and down the barn alleyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody was complaining about it, so they did a fabulous job.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I think they did a very good job. Very good job. So
Now nobody's going to complain about it. I mean, they're not going to do that to her. She's too nice.
So now going into, it's fun to win the last one in that arena. It's gonna be interesting. The Derby moving into a brand new arena up there,
Yeah.
tearing down the old. I don't know the details. Have
I
anybody
wonder if they're
seen?
going to have it done by then.
So we got to actually Jesse and Jack and me and Andrea, Tish, Trevor, and Sierra got to go into the new Coliseum.
Oh, we got invited for that, but we. Oh no,
You guys were
Missed that
late.
no, we
memo.
didn't get
I think
invited.
we missed the
did we?
memo.
No.
Yeah.
You would
hang
think they'd invite the host of the
The
show
show,
to
yeah.
talk about it on there, but
Yeah.
we're not good enough for them yet. But you give them time; they'll
They'll
catch
come
on.
around.
We are the first one to interview Kaci O'Rourke post fraternity on camera.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
anyway,
Anyway, back to
besides
the
the people at the
Coliseum.
horse show,
Anyway, that's
it is pretty cool. Like it's going to be 20 feet wider and 20 foot longer. It's going to have like the top part is going to be all like, there's going to have some bars and some lounges and stuff. And there's going to be like a drink rail along the whole top. So you can kind of like, it's made to a little bit like South Point in a sense.
okay.
Yeah. But so they're going to
20
have,
foot wider, 20 foot longer. That's going to change things.
yeah,
That's going to make scores and bubbles higher.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
it is. And it has a really neat feel in there. So it is gonna be done by the Derby. That's what they're saying. Yeah, the Redbud is the first show in there. We're gonna warm up basically in 6, I believe, and that that covered pen by 6, and then they're gonna have a covered, I believe, walkway to the new Coliseum while they tear the NRHA down, and they're gonna put a pavilion up where the NRHA is now, and that will be a warm up area and the trade show. Yeah, same size arena.
So we'll warm up in 6 like we do now, and then the cover will be like what?
Like a makeup.
The makeup pen is now.
And
They're going to have a little pin at the back gate that you can warm up in.
Okay.
it's not very big though. It's. I think you'll really just only be able to have like 3 horses. Yeah, like Katie about.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be a little adjustment
It'll
during
be
that
fun.
time, but I think it'll be cool.
The fraternity used to have a pen that size to warm up in right outside there.
Really?
Yeah, because I can specifically remember Jim Morgan watching me clear that makeup pen on a horse that would not turn to the left. And he says, "Hey, Gunny, how many till you show?" He was walking out of the Coliseum. And I said, "Oh, I'm next." Oh, okay. And he walked right back in there to watch me show. That was in that little bitty makeup pen that used to be turned
Go
the other way.
with the restaurant in there.
Yeah.
Bergen cleared out the warm up pin too on that Big Time Rooster or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Oh, good times. Yeah. I remember.
Wooden arena.
Yeah, when the I know this is before your time, I'm sure. Because I don't know how long ago it was when they changed all that, but those barns used to be, so everything from the sale barn and back is new. I mean, those
Really?
barns,
Everything from where our
yeah,
stalls are.
yeah, everything from the sign, the arena of what's it say?
Gateway of Champions.
Gateway of Champions. Everything
From there back is
Arena of Champions. Yeah.
They're going to change that too. They're going to change it to arena.
Well,
arena of participants.
if they've watched the show, maybe they will. But I think everything's new. But it used to be low ceilings, and I remember you'd turn an ankle walking on those old dirt alleyways back there. So that place, it's going to be interesting to see what. I don't think it's going to be real fast tearing down that Coliseum.
They said 2 years to rebuild it.
Oh, really?
2 years to tear it down?
And then
Rebuild it.
The whole project will be 2 years.
Wow.
Gotcha.
I wonder if they're going to redo Barn 6 bathrooms. If they're going to put any money into there, because that'd be good.
Oh, yeah. Any bathroom
And
on the
the
whole
place.
place.
I never go into barn 6 bathrooms. I always use the family restroom in barn 3 and sale barn.
No, that is a good bathroom. Yeah,
I mean-
but Barn 6, when you're walking over and you need to, go to the bathroom the last time, Barn 6 was not locked or bad. Yeah.
If they want to
That's what I'm talking
speed
about, by
up
the sale
the
office.
if they want to speed up the teardown process, I have 4 or 5 guys of Spanish descent that I think they could go to work there and help them tear that so much down fast.
Yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't mind driving my skid steer through that building after this year.
Because they tear my shit up every day. That's where I was going with
That's
that.
where it was.
Yeah.
I was like, where's that going?
You give them a paintbrush and a new paint can full of paint, they'll tear your shit down.
I'll give them a brand new skid steer, and that thing will be tore up.
But they won't know who did it.
No, nobody did it.
It's nobody. That's
Yeah.
right.
Tell 'em to
Nobody
clean,
is always
just
messing.
clean this place up. They'll tear it down.
Yeah, I got a dent in my brand new truck. Nobody did it again.
Yeah, that nobody gets
Yep.
around.
I don't know. Everybody just shrugs their shoulders. Mandy sent out a group text. Who dented the truck? Crickets.
I'm going to assume nobody did this, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna assume nobody did it. So somebody snuck in there and
Well,
Somebody.
there were a lot of women that made the open finals before you won it. But I'm sure you are going to inspire a lot more women to make the open finals after you did it. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty special. I
Thank
imagine.
you. I mean, I never thought that would be me. You don't really expect that to be you. But if I can be, then that's pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of people. It was neat. There was a lot of people that stayed all the way till. I mean, we were in that arena for quite a while after, and a lot of people that stayed and waited to get a
Meet you.
picture.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And a lot of people sent me their photos or videos which was really neat. A lot of messages and stuff. I appreciate, them taking the time to do that because it's
The first futurity that I went to was in 1995, and Jackie 𝐃𝐄 was third on Done It Rawhide. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
there's another one that you forget sometimes as you go back through it.
I'm not sure if another woman made it that year, but I know
What year did you make the Open Finals?
Mandy's made it.
Well, I was 18.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Mandy's made the Open Finals before because they
She
used
rode a
to
dinosaur. And it was.
they used to run the Open at the same time as the
Yeah.
non-pro, and like Charlie Wiederholt qualified for the Open
right.
Finals several times, and according to Donnie Mavis Garber made it then, and Barbara Williams made it in 1983. She was telling me on working for Dick.
She made it when she worked for my dad, too.
Yeah, she made it several times and did good at the Super Stakes and the Lazy, and
yeah.
I mean Kim Dirks made the finals.
Yeah, when I think you start
Ann
naming,
Anderman.
you start naming all those old names and stuff and going back through there, and I start thinking,
Yeah, old
Yeah,
days.
Mandy.
I said
Them old names, Mandy McCutcheon. I met Mandy McQuay. She was McQuay back then.
Oh, right. She's a grandma. Gonna be a grandma. And you're gonna be a grandpa.
Anyway, where I was going with that is how much the whole horse show has improved. Like, again, Gunny remembers, Joe remembers. I mean, we used to run the first go around, and it would be Sunday night, and you wouldn't know if you were going to go. It'd be 6, 7 o'clock Sunday night, waiting for the draw to come out because you didn't know if you were going to go Monday morning
Yeah.
or Tuesday afternoon.
And if you were draw 75, I remember the first fraternity that I went to with you. I was early that next day. It was like draw 75. He said, dude, you're going to be like the 20th horse in. There's a bunch of scratches. Like, I was so relaxed, but by the time I had to show, there were 40 scratches in front of me. I had to, instead of going in the afternoon, I went early in the morning.
Yeah. No, that happened to me in 2007. Same thing. Got there in the morning. There was 20 scratches. I was able to go over to barn 6, lope 2 circles, come back over and show.
Wow.
Yeah, it is so much better now. And as far as what people that didn't experience that don't realize, it is so much easier to get the good horses ready now. Your horse. You're not fighting a crowd of 50, 60 people in that arena. The night before the semifinals, at one point, I was the only person in the
Yeah, I
arena
was
at
right.
8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible. It's so much easier. It's better for the horses. It's
Yeah.
less stress. It's easier to get them ready. It's, to me, why we have a phenomenal finals like that.
I like that they have the extra day this year between the semis and the finals. I thought it was nice. You could give your horse a day off after the semis, and you could really kind of take your time and plan the whole thing. But I think, if you could go to barn 6 anytime if the Coliseum was too crowded. And I don't think I ever went in, barn 6 when the arena was too crowded and wasn't able to get it done in barn 6. I mean,
Right.
the horse show was run really, really, really well.
Yeah. No, the schedule for sure. I mean, it was done every night at 5-ish.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't remember one time, and it's not for everybody. Like, Cade's a 4 o'clock in the morning rider. But for me, I don't like that anymore. I did it at one point in my career, but we were done. We were in the bus every night by 10 o'clock, pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe one night it was different, and then I drew up early. I drew up early in the first go on one horse, so I had to get up at 5:30. But other than that, it was pretty normal working hours
Yeah.
for me. In bed by 9 and up by 10. So it's kept me pretty much on my schedule.
We didn't quite have that scheduled, but it was nice.
Yeah, well, that's my schedule's important to me. No, Mandy's great at carrying the load when we get to that show. Because those barns are that's my complaint about that place. Those barns are so nasty.
Oh, man.
It's hard to breathe in there.
Yeah.
I wish there was something they could do.
Well,
Yeah.
I could open the doors more, but nobody
Yeah.
wants
The
to do
weather was
that.
nice this year.
It
I
was
don't know
great.
why they didn't.
Well, people get all worried their horses are going to hair up or
Put
something.
blankets on
Yeah.
them.
Or don't. How much hair are they going to grow in 2 days?
And I don't know who makes those decisions. I don't know
The
if
doors?
it's a fairground decision or
I think
show
the doors
management.
are just whoever runs over and opens and
Opens
closes
them.
them.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, maybe. And maybe we ought to put somebody in charge of that at some point.
I wonder if there's some kind of filtration stuff they could get.
Something.
Something to.
Because we all get sick, and the horses always get sick. I mean, it's
Every day that I walked into that barn from the camper, I started coughing and hacking and gagging. In the first 15 seconds I was in there, it's like, okay, there's your coughing fit. It's over. Now you're good.
Yeah.
Like
no, you just get used
you
to
had to
it.
choke
Yeah.
on the air for a minute till you could figure out how to breathe underwater. Then
Yeah.
you're good to go the
Yeah,
rest
your
of the
eyes
day.
water for a minute. And,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's for me, I ride, and Mandy can tell you, and she used to not love it, but she doesn't mind it anymore. I mean, I'm in the bus. I'll find something to do.
Go
I'll
do
go
your
back.
work and you get out of that barn.
Yeah, I do not hang out in there just to hang out because it's just this is the least sick. And the one time I never got sick, I'm not even gonna tell this story.
You can. Like,
So the one time I didn't get sick, nobody got sick was during COVID.
I was gonna
when
say, I knew
We
that's what
all
you
wore
were gonna say.
masks. The next year, I don't know if you guys remember,
he wore a mask,
wore a
and,
mask.
I wore a mask
and we made fun of him.
and they made fun of me and I didn't get sick.
And everybody else got sick.
And I'm not going to tell the rest of my joke
He felt weird about wearing a mask, so he quit wearing it. But
because
because he got called a Democrat, I think. It's just a pure guess. We don't talk politics, but I think he got called a Democrat too much. Just a guess.
Nothing
nothing wrong with that. No.
We love everyone
But-
on the show.
Obviously, I would rather be sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kelly's won the Derby. Casey's won the Futurity. Who's going to be the first woman to win the NRBC? You can't say Kaci O'Rourke.
Well, why not?
Oh god, you're gonna make me pick a name?
Yeah, why
Oh
not?
no. There's a lot of really super capable like other women trainers. I mean Abby, Jordan McBurney. Jordan McBurney's awesome.
Yeah, they're
mean,
both
she-
amazing.
she-
You know, that's
kicks butt.
Jordan is somebody we hadn't mentioned either, and she's qualified
Carol
for the run for a
Metcalf
million
is
a couple of
amazing.
times.
Yeah,
and-
Carrie, Abby Mixon, Miriam.
I mean, who isn't biased?
Nicole Rennick. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, yeah, she trained my horse's mother, so thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Red
So
Hot Walla.
Yeah.
those horses are open to being trained by females.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Yeah, that's what that
what
was
it is.
the
That's-
secret.
that bloodline.
So now, when you go
Jesus.
looking at yearlings, are you going to go?
Jesus.
Now, who rode this?
Who
horse?
Yeah.
trained this horse's mother?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to get along with that one.
Yeah, I'm not following something Gunny Matheson trained.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So now you guys bought him from Tamarack Ranch, and then how did Peter Morgan get him?
So in the fall of his 2-year-old year, they usually only bought mares. They only really would keep mares. That's what they were interested in. But I told them, I'd actually tried to sell that horse to another client because, again, we were partners on him.
To remain nameless,
To-
this other client that did not buy this horse, we should not say their name. We're sorry that you did not buy him.
Anyway,
Gotcha.
I asked, Peter and Courtney if they'd look at him, and they said, yeah, absolutely. And so they came down, they watched us ride him once, and then they took us to Outback Steakhouse, and they looked at us, and they said, with a big smile, they're like, we'll buy him. We'll do it. And so they were really all in. And, again, I do want to thank them a lot because they, when they bought that horse, it was, we told them, we want to show him. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're having you guys buy him, because we know that you're going to keep him. And they were offered money for that horse a lot throughout his 3-year-old year, several times. And, I'd call Peter and I'd say, hey, they want a price, and he'd say, nope, we don't need it. I told you you're going to show him. That's what we're going to do. We'll figure it out after. And, when at the Invitational, when that happened, I had a lot of people call up and say, hey, is he for sale now? And, Peter said, no, we're going to stick to the plan. And that means a lot,
course. Yeah.
I mean, that's really special. And so when we got to the fraternity, we again got offered money after the first go, and Peter's like, we're just having so much fun. And I think for them, the experience, even before winning the fraternity, of just having, a great horse is what they're after. They've been in it for a really long time and been really loyal to the NRHA and stuff. But, after winning, obviously they're pretty on cloud 9 right now. So. Yeah.
Well, but kudos to them for stay in the course.
Yeah.
Because this industry is famous for not having owners that stay the course.
Right. And that's kind of the point I wanted to make is like we made them, we definitely didn't overpromise, but we told them that this horse was pretty special and that he was really, really good. And they'd been told that, they'd been offered money for him. And it's a hard thing to do, I think, when he goes in the first time and it doesn't happen like you think, and you're got a check sitting there ready for him. They very easily could have taken that, and they didn't. And I'm so thankful to them for that. And I'm just so happy that it all kind of worked out like it did, because they really trusted the whole process. And I think that's what you hope with any owner with a 3-year-old especially, because it might not, one time does not define a horse, and it might not pan out the first time or the second time, but how many great horses even have become great as a 4-year-old or as a 5-year-old?
Yep.
You don't remember that first time they showed, but, all the big scores after that, kind of make that go away. So I'm really happy.
And they've been clients of yours for a while now.
Yeah.
Huh?
They actually, the first horse they sent me, they're also clients of Ruben Van Dorp. Ruben's done a great job for them as well. But they had a little Magnum mare that was too little for anybody to ride, and no one would pick her out because she was so small. And they'd seen me show at the Congress, and so they sent her to us to ride simply because I was, the only little person they really knew. So, and she ended up doing really good. She won like 40,000 and stuff. So they, sent us more horses, and it's just been a really good relationship.
Yeah, that's good. Been good for both of you.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and to go back to keeping the horse, it is very difficult for any of us, I think, to even fathom owning or keeping a fraternity champion, because along the way you get thrown so much money at you. It is very hard to sleep at night turning that money down, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, and those pre-fraternities when it's not going right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when you're offered a lot of money. I mean, that's a tremendous, kudos to them for doing that. And I mean, I'm so happy for them now because, he said to me at Thanksgiving, we spent a lot of time together at the horse show, which was kind of cool. And he said, and they were great because they told me even from the beginning, they said, Kaci, I don't want you to put any pressure on yourself with this horse. I know you already put enough pressure on yourself, so you don't worry about it. And they were great about doing that with me the entire week. And it helps you show, I think, and helps you train better when you aren't looking over your shoulder or worrying about it when you're riding that horse. I mean, that is I could call them up and say, hey, and he's like, how was you riding? And say, yep, we had a bad day today. We're going through this, that, and the other. And he'd say, great. That's awesome. Work on what you need to work on. And, we trust you. And I can call them and say, we had a great day. We had a great ride today. And they'd say, that's awesome.
Well, no owner's going to put the amount of pressure on us. They're not going to max. No. They're not going to come close to the amount of pressure we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
So when you get one that does put pressure on you, it's just because they don't understand that, hey, we care more than you think we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
They've been in the game a while. They know that you care more than what they can motivate you to. So
I think as owners, you hope your owners in general could understand that. And, they, at least with me, with this horse, they were the best, the most supportive they could possibly be. They didn't put extra pressure on me. They didn't hold anything over my head. They didn't hold crazy high expectations. They were just there to support me and the horse the whole time. And, that's why I'm so happy it worked out like it did for them.
Well,
very cool.
I
It's
saw
a good
another
story.
deal on Facebook today that said the top 4 horses were all out of Walla mares.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
I saw
crazy
that
is
too.
that?
And the whole world's going to be buying Walla mares like they were buying Shiner mares in late 90s, early
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah.
Now that's going to
Right.
be the new thing.
Yeah.
Donut mares were a thing, and then now it's going to be Walla mares, huh?
Yeah.
You have any
Yeah. You
for
want it?
sale?
Yeah. Sold.
Okay.
You own it, but it's going to hurt. I'm priced it way too high.
Well, I'm not rich. I said, I'm not rich. I
Yeah,
got to
you
work
are.
on it. No,
Yes, you are.
I got to work on it a little.
Yes, you are now. Your half is 200,000 of what you want at the fraternity, so you can handle it.
So, what are you drinking your ranch fuel with down there, Gunny?
I had mine with some Crown Royal. I had the blueberry pomegranate.
Nice.
And why did I have the blueberry pomegranate today? Because it was the can in front of me, baby.
I have. I drink the.
Now
Orange.
it's just blueberry pomegranate. There's no Crown Royal left.
I drink the orange cream with a little bit of Crown Royal myself.
Yeah.
Very
I
good.
actually prefer blueberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, this blueberry's pretty
So that's.
pretty tasty.
And I want to clarify something here. A little bit of clarification. I don't hate Democrats.
Yeah.
I have a couple of Democrats.
Nobody
that are-
said.
that are
Nobody
clients.
said the word hate at all. Nobody said
Yeah.
that.
No, but you know how
we
people
just,
are.
You
No,
just
no.
said you'd rather be sick than be a Democrat, basically.
You know how people are. You know
Take stuff out of context.
somebody's going to get butthurt.
I'm not
And-
affiliated with that.
And
But
I
Denny
have
is.
I have several Democratic leaning clients in my barn, and we joke about it and have fun about it and give each other shit about it, and we bet on the election, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You should be able to just bullshit about it and have fun and go on with your life.
Oh yeah, we have fun about it, but
And also, my Caucasian helped wreck my truck.
Just to cover that base.
Yeah, just to be clear on my bases.
Just to be clear.
This was a
Yeah.
touchy episode.
Yeah,
no, they've all been like this lately.
yeah, no, that's what we do.
That's what we've been doing.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Congratulations
Yeah, thanks
again.
for
Great
coming on
run.
our
Thank
show.
you.
Now that you're a celebrity, you don't have to do this stuff that's beneath you. But our tens of viewers around the world appreciate this,
Oh, yeah.
damn it.
Yeah, no, you'll get paid double this time because you won the fraternity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Double what you got paid last time.
double.
Yep,
Yeah.
that sounds
Triple
good.
if you want.
That
Yeah,
sounds good.
do whatever you want with that.
That sounds great. I'll still hang out with you for free, Gunny.
Yeah, that's
It's
what.
okay.
You know what? You know why she's gonna hang out with me? Because I'm nice. I'm a nice person, unlike you two that are just asses.
Even
I
though-
did have a couple people. I bet you I heard 50, well, 20 grow the shows at the fraternity.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah,
But I heard about 3. You got to be nicer to Gunny.
I did
that's
too.
what I'm saying.
That's what I did
you,
too.
Thank you to
And
the
I-
tens of viewers telling them they
Yep.
have to. You guys don't realize that the tens of viewers know that we have a show because old Gunny's sitting down here. You wouldn't have nothing if it weren't for old Gunny Matheson.
No, I had a couple people just walk by under their breath go, "You're too mean to Gunny.
Yeah, I know.
Be nicer to Gunny."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had some. Yeah, I did have that brought up a couple times.
Any of y'all cinch like off billets cut or anything? Stirrup
No.
leathers cut?
No, but we were.
It's coming.
I was
It's coming,
checking.
isn't it?
I
Tens of
was checking.
viewers.
Hey, don't get into that. Don't get into that.
Sabotage.
All right.
Grow the
Thanks,
show.
everybody.
Grow the show.